Hey, I'm Matt with NerdCaliber, and I'm here with Trevor and Ryan, and they're with Rise?
Yeah, that's the name of
Watch
our
Press?
Yeah, that's the name of our current title.
Tell me more about it.
Yeah, Rise was the book I never wanted to write because I didn't think that there was much to add to the superhero genre at this point. But I may or may not have had 4 double shots of whiskey in a dive bar in North Carolina, and suddenly things changed. And I realized that I was having a quarter-life crisis, and the central question that I wanted to ask is, what does it look like to be a good man? And how do you reflect that with the warring ideologies and sort of the prescriptive nature of masculinity? This book is kind of an exploration of the perils of the male ego through a character whose powers scale with spikes of dopamine. So one of the things that kind of pierces through the center of this book is that we're asking about the things that make a man feel good and powerful and questioning whether or not they're conducive to doing the right thing. This book has never been about saving the world, it's surviving the performance. And so I think that's kind of where we latch onto are those like emotional, character-driven moments that kind of define and refine masculinity in a progressive way, right? It's finding that balance between sort of the traditional stoic, hard-toothed man and the sort of more passive, emotionally available side that you're seeing kind of come to light in the modern age. So yeah, just really attacking that in a meaningful way, but also still doing like the big superhero action set pieces that make people excited. The difference is they're all predicated on the emotional themes of this story, and I think they matter more because of it.
So you're the writer, the art,
So I'm the writer,
Yep.
This is the artist.
You're the artist?
Yeah.
Okay, how do you like working on this project?
Terrible. It's awful.
Have you worked on other projects too?
Oh yeah, I've worked on plenty of projects. I've been doing comics for about 10 years now.
Awesome.
But this one's a lot of fun because, like Trevor was saying, there's like a lot of emotionality and thought behind it. But I also get the opportunity to do stuff like you would see in the big 2 with like big action pieces. The first issue of the comic has a 3-page fold out.
Okay.
So that was like a lot of fun to do.
Yeah.
So I get to kind of like play in both worlds.
Like a little teaser.
Yeah.
Fun. You guys are self-produced as well, or do you have a producer?
Yeah. So Pocket Watch Press is effectively me, my laptop, and more caffeine than any one man should have. I may or may not have 600 milligrams of caffeine behind the table at this moment, but it's all pretty much self-made, independent. We begin everything through Kickstarter as our pre-ordering process, and then we take it direct to consumer and through some shops that we form personal relationships with.
So I heard you talk about whiskey, but what's your muse?
Oh man, my muse is always a central question. I think every story that I've written comes from me trying to wrestle with the world I live in, my place in it, and this was essentially me. I walk out of the pandemic. I went into the pandemic. I was a college kid studying molecular biology, and I walked out, and suddenly I have a comic book publishing company. And I'm liable to make sure that like a handful of artists can all put food on their table. And I realized like I didn't have the time to F around and find out. And I think that is kind of a necessary process to growing up. And I wondered like, I didn't have a particularly great male role model growing up. I knew who I didn't want to be, but I didn't quite know what the other end of that looks like and how I would appear on the other side. So that was the muse for Rise, was me asking like, what kind of man do I want to be? And how do I wrestle with the inevitable setbacks that come along with that?
Awesome. Well, thanks for doing this interview. I want you to take this time, show us your latest issue, and talk about it real quick.
Sure. So Rise issue number 3 is our latest and greatest. You can see a teaser for 4 behind us on that big old banner there. Beautiful cover by Ryan Best. Issue 3 really takes this story and begins to poke at the core wounds. We're getting more experimental with the page layouts and trying to get kind of weird with it and inventive. The first 2 issues, the layouts, I was thinking very filmically because I was doing a lot of research for a horror project, which required television and film watching. So for this one, I just remember telling Ryan, like, I'm going to ask for some really weird, and like, I'm very fortunate that every time I write something strange, he's like, all right, we'll try it. And it usually comes down to, that does sound pretty fun, but it always gets a little strange. So, not this page not excluded from that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Cool. Thank you.
Cheers.